3, 2, 1, here we go. In chess, it's so important that we get our openings correct. What is the Veresov attack? How do we play against this from the black pieces? So firstly, I'm going to show you exactly what this means. Early bishop to g5, you're putting pressure on black's knight. Do you take it or do you do something else? So from the top, this is how we get this approach. So that is what this video is all about. You're going to learn how to play against this dangerous setup. I'm going to show you my recommendation and a few beautiful setups coming up. Here we go. d4, knight f6, knight c3. So what's the point of this early knight move from white? They want to get the center by themselves. That's why you should play d5, or else white is going to play e4. And now bishop to g5. Bishop to f4, I'm going to cover that at the end of the video. Bishop g5. Planning to take the knight, and that's the cool thing, I'm going to allow it. But first I'm going to show you a few silly setups you should avoid. A few pointless setups, let's get them out the way, and then we go to the main line. h6, that's a pointless move because you're encouraging a capture. White is going to take anyway, and then e4 strike in the center, take. This position I cannot recommend. White is already 4 pawns against 3 pawns for black on the queen side. This structure, no thank you. Next chapter. From the top again, that's how this opening video works. It's always from the top, getting repetition in. You need to strike in the center, bishop g5. And here, don't play e6, we get into a French defense. White now has a good move. Pawn to e4, take, using the pin. And I really hate these kind of positions because you can see that bishop on c8 is trapped behind its own pawns. Next chapter, so don't do this. Now my next lines will be to recommend what you should do exactly. What you should do against this. Bishop g5 and now bishop to f5. Allowing the doubling of pawns, which we will look at now. That is the critical setup. Can you see there's so many other green circles? We're going to address those very soon. So first up, well, white can now double the pawns. Doesn't matter. You take towards the center. White now has a few different moves, but let's say white becomes greedy and wants the entire center for himself. f3 planning e4. This is a cool move to remember. Just slide your bishop back. It's like you look ahead, you know white is going to strike in the center, so you might as well slide your bishop back. h4. This is a bad move. Why? Because white is being a bit too aggressive, but now you stop the aggression with h5. Why am I giving this a good move? Well, let's say white now goes knight h3. They want to put the knight on f4, bishop to h6. Am I being very generous with this move? Absolutely. But this is such a fresh position for me, and is fresh for you as well. When the bishop goes to h6, there's just so much dark square control. Black can also strike in the center. Those are the blue arrows. Pawn to e6, pawn to c5. The knight can go to c6. That's the red arrow to put pressure. And then the queen can go to b6 as well. That's the yellow arrow. There's so much control. Next chapter. All these setups will be the top comment in the pin section. Here we go. So now, well, same thing. They take, but this time they strike in the center. Here, I'm going to recommend to just keep calm, just defend the center. Do not play e6. That, I know I'm being very harsh, but giving a blunder, because now our pawns are a bit messed up. Take. Even though we still have this cool looking move, bishop to h6, I really hate having double pawns. Let's go back 2 moves. So I want to defend the other way. Just remember that type of defense. White should not take, because you just take back. And really, white has lost their center. We're going to play that brilliant move pretty soon. Let's go back 2 moves. So here, maybe white is really aggressive. They will castle queenside, but the problem is black now has the dark square bishop. h5, I'm being very generous again, but I love this move. And I love preparing this kind of video because I am learning as well. It's like I'm teaching myself, but also giving you the tools to play against this Veresov attack. Blue arrow, bishop to h6, and black has a wonderful position, and green arrow, e6, b5, b4. The knight can come to d7. That's the yellow arrow. Okay, so that's one setup. Next chapter. From the top again, here we go. Repetition leads to acquisition. You keep doing something, you will remember it. Here we go. Queen d2 and now h5. Let's say they play the wrong move, castle. That basically loses to this. Oopsie daisy. Hey, we all have blundered our queen in one moment or another. Bishop to h6. The only move to stop this is f4, but now, well, you've just lost the center pawn, and black can just keep playing good normal moves. e6, knight d7. The queen can even come out to a5. That's the red arrow. So this is already very strong. Next chapter. And in this moment here, just want to show you maybe white really wants to castle that side. They might play knight to h3. But now we play this brilliant move, pawn to h5. Sorry, here, the last move was actually knight to h3. So we've gone h5 because the bishop can come to h6. Just remember that move, pawn to h5, then the bishop goes to h6, that brilliant diagonal. Knight h3, out, and really, white needs to admit the fact that he can't be aggressive anymore. Black is the one being aggressive. You can't castle queenside. That's a blunder. e5, how nice. Really cool looking position. 2 knights and 2 bishops are out, but we are now going to win that piece. Really, in this kind of position, you've got to just admit you can't castle queen f2, and then the game goes on. e6, queen out here. I really like that move, just putting pressure straight away. Next chapter. From the top. Here. Same thing. Repetition leads to acquisition. Take. e3. Very sensible way for white to set up. We want to trade. We want to get rid of that dangerous bishop. e6. Let's say white is super duper aggressive. Ultra aggressive. g4. Hit. I'll let you know a little secret. I think this is one reason why super top players, or maybe anyone, is not willing to get this bishop out. But I'm willing to get the bishop outside the pawn chain because I've done some research thanks to Stockfish. Trying to create some useful video for me and for you. This is a chess diary for myself as well. This is one reason people don't do this, because now well, the expansion is there, but you just stop the expansion. It's almost the same kind of moves I've said before, but now the rook can actually get in the game. Take, you can take with the rook. You get hit, doesn't matter, drop the rook back, you are fine. And it's about that dark squared bishop. You can see the blue circled bishop. You're going to go c5, break open the center. This looks pretty good for black. Next chapter. I keep saying that because I've got my Lee chess file open, so we just keep going through this. Okay, next moment. So, normal move. e3, e6, and now the bishop comes out to d3. Why is white playing this normal setup? Because this bishop is very strong, and that is one important way to play chess. You swap off your opponent's strongest pieces. Bishop d3. But you don't swap. That's the cool thing. You just tuck your bishop back, and this is a theme that we saw in the other setup when white was ultra aggressive, castling queenside, just trying to make you guys play the same moves throughout. Bishop to g6. Take? No way. You do not take, because then the rook will come in the game. No way. You've just actually fixed the pawns for black. Let's go back a couple moves. Knight e2, normal move. You want to put the knight on f4. And now, this is another secret, you could say. Well, it's just something I discovered. I guess they're secrets because I just came up with it today. c6. I want you to over-defend your center. Why? Because the bishop is coming to d6, the knight's coming to d7. We're going to castle queenside, play ultra-aggressive. Yes. If you go knight f4, bishop d6. I think that's a cool move. No way will white take, because now you take towards the center. And then, well, the attack is just free. The attack is just incredible for black. So, this might not happen. And now queen e7, this is my idea, my discovery, you could say. Black in castle queenside. You can strike in the center. And I really like the position. Good. And this is all possible because that bishop is not there. Good. Next chapter. Next chapter. I love this type of imbalanced position. Next. From the top. We are coming to the point where we do not take this knight. Okay, white has other moves, and then we are almost done. We are 9 minutes in, few more minutes, job done. Queen d2. Don't want to play knight e4. No. Knight d7. Now's the chance to defend your knight. Castle. Now e6. What's the point? Well, you can see the king is on the c-file. With the green arrows, we want to go pawn to c5, rook c8, open up the c-file, and we have some counterplay. White wants to go f3. So it's like, do you remember in the first setup, I said pawn to f3 and then e4. Well, really, this is kind of a better setup for white because white is castled. But in the other one, in setup 1, he hasn't castled. h6, let's kick this bishop away. And then I really like these kind of clever retreating moves. You might as well just get out the way first. That is the green arrow. Bishop to g6. Blue arrow c5, red arrow rook to c8. We can try to open up. And here white can't open up because the center drops. Take. take. And both queens are under attack. That's the cool thing. If knight takes knight, then pardon me, then the queen will take the bishop. So after take, things are under attack. Black is now winning. Both bishops, both pieces really are under attack, so they might come off, and then black is now up a pawn. Good. Next chapter. Let's keep going. From the top. Here we go. And now e3. Sensible way to play. And now white cannot double the pawns, even though that's fine, because we wanted white to double the pawns anyway, because it led to those brilliant bishop h6 positions. Knight 3. Knight d7. Bishop d3 is possible. Bishop e2, making sure the knights are defended. Kick away, and I don't really mind which option you play, but you can just break the pin now. Bishop e7, and now these kind of positions are really good for black because the pawn break belongs to black. You see that blue arrow? There's no pawn break. It's not like Queen's Gambit, so white is the one who is fighting for some play. This is really good for black. 1 or 2 more chapters? Good. From here. Again. Bishop f5, and now knight f3, e6, and here, let's say they just get the knight early in the center. So look out for this option. When they play the knight early, also I should say breaking the pin is fine. It's just such a normal way to play. If they go knight early, you can go knight d7. Bring that knight back. Because trading a few pieces off is fine. Get them off, and then you're still fine. And then you just keep playing. Knight d7. Take. That knight will have to move, or a trade might happen, but then this is absolutely fine. It's a little bit boring, really, but things are coming off. The pawn break is there once again for black. Good stuff. So, I believe I've covered lots of setup against bishop g5. I just want to summarize. The setup I absolutely love is this one. Oh, imagine if you get that in the game. h5, then bishop h6. Let me know in the comments below if that happens. Good stuff. Top left corner is Master the Queen's Gambit decline, just like Magnus Carlsen. New video. Why is my face cut in half? No, let me move my face there. Oh gosh, camera angle. Tough. That's part of it now. I'll move here. There. So that is a video in the top left corner, released yesterday. Why am I suggesting this as an end screen video? Because it connects very well with what we discussed today. d4, knight c3, bishop to f4. That will be the London system in the bottom left corner. So 2 videos with d4 involved from the black side. I'm helping you with your black openings. Thank you so much for watching.